Guma had a 2-level lead in the Ziggs versus Seraphine individual the entire time, basically.
Wiser and richer.
And yeah, he was wiser and richer at pretty much all stages of the game, except for the first couple of seconds when we were watching the trades. And Nautilus Seraphine hit like 3, hooks into Qs in a row, and it was looking good then. But after that, definitely Guma just kind of took off. And so let's get into game number 2 to see if HLE will continue in that same direction. Rumble is banned, but they're picking the Jarvan first here anyway. And let's see what sort of carries G2 want to go with. Of course, now you're always trying to play around the Cataclysm and get some mobility for yourself.
And it's a little bit tough because oftentimes when you want to focus down a single player, maybe someone like Kanavi, you ban out comfort picks, etc. But for Kanavi, comfort picks is the meta, so there's no really point in chipping away. It's kind of inevitable that he is going to have this early game impact. With the J4 locked in, it's going to be the Lee Sin picked up by G2.
I mean, another good early matchup here. Like, Lee Sin mobility is good into Jarvan because you can dodge his EQ, and that's most of his kit right there. So
that's all the damage. If you dodge that early, you win the fight.
It's a similar line of thinking as going with the Xin into the Vi and then trying to do like the pre-6 fight where we saw they actually did win the first little fight there at level 4 up on the top side of the map. Now here with the mobility of Lee Sin for SkewMond, the team is putting faith in his Lee Sin again, and give him in a shot. Now with the Yunara as well, again, you need that mobility, the jumps to get out of the Cataclysm, so threatening the Yunara Lulu already. HLE, okay, we're going to go with the Lucian Milio into the Yunara Lulu instantly, no hesitation there.
And this is a quick adaptation for HLE, right? When you look at the kind of generic way we expect HLE to play the game, it is not a combo like this. We expect a lot more topside focus, and that could still happen, but really this duo is set up to dominate in the 2v2 after those first few levels, and it's going to put a lot of pressure on the G2 bot lane.
It is. It's just such a powerful duo because you can close the distance, and Milio can get so much uptime on Lucian's passive. It is insane. So he gets the heals and the shields, and Lulu can only, provide some of those trades with the shields on the timers where Yunara gets her Q stacked. That's when it's fightable, but Lucian gets to choose so many other different timings to work with that it gets pretty scary, especially if teams have started doing this where they send their mid laner with the Lucian Milio down lane level 1, so you can try and get vision priority, and then you can go for your little bursty trade right at the beginning and don't allow the Yunara to stack up her Q. Then it can get problematic. So we'll see if there's any like level 1 that goes along with it or not, or if they just try and play it themselves. But speaking of mid laners, and you've got Zeka, the world champion of the Akali Sylas meta. I think Akali right now is super, super good, by the way. And it hasn't been like super highly prioritized quite yet. But we're only game 2 in a series, and you're playing versus Zeka, so they don't want to get deleted by that.
No, they most certainly do not. Now the Annie's going to be banned, so both sides pretty comfortable focusing mid lane here. Of course, the support response from G2 was the Lulu for Labrov. Had a stellar game, not a game that G2 won, but a really incredible individual performance on the pick. But again, as you highlighted, sometimes it's going to be a tall task to weather the storm of Gumayusi and Delight. Here is a little bit of debate coming in from the side of G2, and Victor actually going to be what's taken off the board. Now, Zeka as a player, of course, kind of known for a long time for those iconic picks. The melees plus an Azir plus an Ahri has branched out over the years, so giving him that respect, not wanting to give him that scaling control mage option is, interestingly enough, Aatrox is going to be the final ban.
Very interesting indeed. Does that mean Zeus wants to play like a tank up there that doesn't want to have to play into Aatrox? Doesn't want to get like drain tanks, Scions type of stuff. We'll see. Because it's going to just be the Caps Syndra again. He did have a pentakill on it. And then afterwards he had the quote where he's like, last time I got a pentakill at MSI, we won that MSI.
Still a few series away.
Yeah.
It's notably hard. It's a lot harder to win MSI now, as a side note.
You get way more credit, though, for calling your shot early. Okay?
That is true. That is true. I like that. Okay, so Anivia the lock in here. So still a control option. The additional wall can make it tricky for a lot of champions, but mostly for Syndra and the Lulu, right? We already talked about both of the other damage threats, the Yunara and the Lee Sin, having dashes to play around the J4. The same is true of the Anivia wall.
Yeah, it does. It does sound kind of scary for Syndra, but Scatter of the Week is quite good versus Jarvan, even though you're like, all right, Cataclysm is very scary. And you can go unstoppable during the Cataclysm. So, all right, we are going to get the Sylas and just give that bird up to Zeus. Zeus was one of the very early adopters of the top lane Anivia, by the way. And Broken Blade gonna pick his Yasuo into it. So nobody flinching at all, Dracos. It's just insta-locks here in the response.
I wouldn't mind a flinch. This is a very volatile composition once again, but G2 I respect.
We did it as well. We did the Yasuo into the Anivia in the mid lane.
Sure.
And so the theory is kind of the same in top lane, just a longer lane to try and take advantage of. And since both of them have junglers that can get up there pretty early, you know, it is going to force these junglers to choose. Are we going to go towards top lane volatile matchup, or are we going to try and mess around with dealing with Lucian Milio early on? Or are we going to let that Lucian Milio just go to town?
Feels like both top and bot for both sides have the potential to be volatile, potentially decided by that.
Mid lane 2, baby.
Mid lane 2.
We got a Sylas matchup.
This is an explosive game that we are getting ready for here. G2 down a game, but coming in confident. You see the Yasuo counterpick. Not really shaking, not stepping back after that Warwick in game 1. Still confident, trying to set Broken Blade up for as much success as possible. And again, it makes sense because you know when you play against HLE, there will be attention topside. So really wanting to make sure that he has the tools he needs to come out on top.
And this is what I have always loved about Broken Blade. People will throw tons of flame at him, buckets of flame, when one of these picks doesn't work out. But he never shies away from it. He will always return to his counter picks. He will index very heavily into them, and the team puts their faith behind him. And let's see if it will pay off here. Honestly, I didn't think the Warwick was a problem at all in the last one. It turned out great.
Okay.
There were some moments where it didn't work in the 1v1.
No,
but
that's fair. There were some concerning moments too, Kobe, but there was some
Broken Blade spent his time in NA, so he's my boy, okay?
That's fair. No, I'm not trying to sell a Broken Blade. Don't misunderstand.
My boy? He's always my boy.
I respect. He's my boy too. But right now, Kobe, our boy, is going up against Zeus, which always makes me a bit nervous. But let's talk a little bit about the bottom lane, right? You already saw the level 1 that you mentioned, a quick roam down from Zeka, making sure that Guma and Delight could move in, get a bit more control over the lane. Didn't result in them fully being able to stop Hans from stacking up the Q, the Cultivation of Spirit, as Zeka, a nice sidestep from Caps means this trade is very favored for the Syndra.
Yeah, and I like you touch on it. They've got the sweeper start on the bottom side for Labrov too, for that the vision, for the brush priority, and so you know, they use it both. Wait a second.
Oh, Zeka missing again. Dark Sphere. Not enough to get the kill down, but this is a perfect start to the lane for Caps. Both sides burning both pots. Zeka likely going to be forced to burn the TP, but Caps hoping to spot out the recall. Scatter
stops his recall. Zeka dodges it, but it forced him to stop, forced him to move there. And yeah, I mean, they were able to snipe the world champion Zeka Akali, but he got onto a Sylas, and Cap says, fine, I'm going to pull you out of the lane very early.
But one thing I'd like to just notice is just, part of the reason why I'm nervous, not about top lane, but also about bottom lane, is Guma in game 1. You highlighted it. The first level looked like G2 all the way. The stats really tell a story of Guma all the way. So the fact that now he has an even more dominant champion in the Lucian is a bit concerning, especially when you think of the total history between these two guys, right? It has often just been the Gumayusi show.
Yeah, I mean, Guma and Hans here. Hans said he wanted to get that revenge for all these times. Guma has taken him down. Happy to get his chance, at least. So he's got his chance. And honestly, they're doing quite good in the Yunara Lulu at the moment, but Guma's gonna start to flex his muscles a little bit here. Ultra Mega Fire Kick does go a little wide though.
For now,
usually
small.
We don't get to say that, you know, but I love that ability name specifically.
Ultra Mega Fire Kick? This is an unnecessary mouthful, yeah. It's just a lot of syllables.
Look at this. Right. Ooh. Circle around. Kanavi's got the information advantage. He saw him walk into the brush.
Zeus still has egg.
Is he counting recall timer? Nope, gone.
He's already gone.
I love the observers,
I love these observers.
I love the observers.
Oh, man, sometimes you're just like, they're surely setting us up for a play. Sometimes they're just teasing us. As we looked away from bot lane for 20 seconds. And the health trades have gone horribly awry. So you can see SkewMond now moving down, it looks like, to cover bot. because Hanwha desperately needs to recall.
Okay.
Has the barrier.
He's got the inside route.
SkewMond will be here first. Gumayusi moving towards Kanavi. SkewMond going over the wall. Instantaneous polymark onto Guma, but he has the barrier up. SkewMond trying to find the angle. Flash away from Kanavi, who's here first. HLE, excellent cover from their jungler to stop SkewMond from being able to find a kill.
Oh, he was trying to predict it, trying to match here, and now they chased them all off.
The Demacian standard. They're about to drop a flag on him. Not going to do enough damage, though, luckily.
I mean, it's still devastating. I mean, these minions going into the dirt, the tower plate, the Grump as well. What's this? Is that a bucket of water or something?
Just blowing bubbles? It is. We've confirmed. He's just blowing bubbles.
He's meditating. Okay.
That's some sports
Have you seen all those those morning routines? Maybe it's ice water, and he's trying to
rub the banana peels on his face.
He's getting the adrenaline. Okay?
Wake up at 4 a.m. I hope he didn't wake up at 4 a.m. That would be a terrible decision for the schedule. But you never know. He's on that grind set, guys. You couldn't understand. And Labrov did have an excellent game one, to be honest. The Nautilus was doing a lot of work. I would say in a lot of moments really outclassing Delight. It wasn't enough to win the game, but
I'm a fan though of like the ice water baths and like the cold temperature. Get that adrenaline, spike him for game number 2. Let's see. They did not go down. They did not die, but they did lose a lot of minions.
Oh, Broken Blade. Level disadvantage. Spinning through the wave. Now has a level 6 of his own, but doesn't hit the Q. All good. Zeus still fine, has Kanavi waiting around. Broken Blade has to be careful not to step too far up as Hans down a level, or at least half a level here. And again, that is because of the earlier trade, denying that additional wave.
Yeah. Now, you can just keep on going in for these trades with the Lucian Milio, like the buff, so you can just get the extra damage here for Lucian's combo. Hard to deal with it.
Also, just Caulfield's back versus Cold Dagger is, yeah. It's tough to match this. Nice polymorph, but
ooh, once again, we have a roam here. Zeka's going to get behind SkewMond even.
Way. Can steal the Lee Sin kick. SkewMond recognizes the danger and decides it is time to back up. Guma stepping pretty far forward. Hanwha flashback, a sidestep, but Zeka's now on the way in. Abscond, just going to get him with the chain lash, and first blood to the side of HLE.
Kanavi's here too,
but
now
HLE, you're right, they're not done yet. Pushing this wave and taking their sweet time, letting G2 stew in it. The flag, the drag, the knockout coming in from the stolen wild growth. Kanavi not even going to fall. A flawless dive from HLE.
Looks like Hans is not going to get his revenge just quite yet. And wait, Kanavi's going to wrap around.
Kanavi's level 6.
They could get Caps' flash here if he's not careful. All right, they're going to back off. Let him hold on to that one for now. They actually sent Hans down mid lane here as Caps is rotated over to pick up the minion wave.
2-3 going a bit wide there from Broken Blade, hoping to find the knock-up. Recognizing he has time isolated in the top lane 1v1, wants to make the most of it, but Zeus is nasty with it. Sidestepping multiple Qs there in that sequence.
Yeah, and we were discussing, which of these volatile lanes are they going to go try and tend to? Are they going to let the Lucian Milio go to town in their lane by themselves or play up to the Broken Blade's counter pick here? And the decision was towards the bottom side, and Guma has been the beneficiary. 2 kills, definitely very substantial lead. He's going to get to level 6 very soon too, so you can get your culling poke, and everybody's going down there. It's not just Kanavi. Zeka also with the roam over this time around. You can see Kanavi on the mini-map, but they did all the work for him. Zeka's able to go in, pick up the kill onto Hans. Then they go for the repeat play. And look at the mini-map too. Cap's trying to come over, but he's just going to be so far away. Syndra cannot move like Sylas can here. And so they have a much easier route to bottom side. Yeah.
Frustration.
Out there.
And is there anything in League of Legends more frustrating than a level 6 Sylas when you still don't have access to your ult, using your ult to make a successful dive? It's rage-inducing. Now, G2, of course, hopefully can calm down, weather the storm. As you highlighted, though, on the top side, despite the counter pick, Zeus so comfortable, just so good individually that Broken Blade hasn't been able to get that greater edge in the matchup, so hasn't needed that attention. But now, Kanavi, you can see in the river, looking to contest SkewMond a bit. With the kick around, it's easy setup for the last breath. You have to be careful not to overcommit. Hans and Labrov, man advantage. Calling onto Hans from Guma is big. Getting a bit more damage down. Guma with the barrier, flashing away. Guma overconfident. Has to use both of his sums, but gets one in return from Hans. But that's a 2v1, and now Zeka's moving in behind them. Grubs are down. Zeka can steal Yunara. Oh, no, he has Syndra ultimate. Yeah. Oh, no. Oh, no.
You're not outplaying that one. Doesn't matter if Syndra casts it or Sylas casts it. The outplay R button is not happening. Labrov running for his life. He wants to dodge this chain. He cannot.
The shield there, but Labrov going to fall too. Zeka is monster fed. Scatter the weak from Cap. SkewMond to follow. The abscond takes Zeka out of range of the Sonic Wave. So there's no counterplay. On the top side, HLE are making another play at the same time. This is even more dominant than the previous game.
Yeah, I mean, they got numbers advantage because Guma there took the 2v1 to the very edge there. He fights the 2v1 to the very edge, buying the time for Zeka to get there. Teleports down, closes the trap onto Hans then, taking him down again. Let's see, can they do much here towards the mid lane? Because Caps have been farming during this time, but you know, Zeka's roams have been felt bottom lane, but Caps does have the CS lead to speak because of it.
Oh, flag drag. Quick flash back there. The golden egg is slow connects, but it might not matter too much. Hello. But now the Cataclysm lineup is there. Instantaneous polymorph. Nice wild growth on the Caps to try and turn it. Zeka hoping to find an angle for the kick. Only manages to disengage from SkewMond as Labrov keeps walking up. HLE losing one.
This is good for G2. They turn the battlefield to mid lane here, and SkewMond coming over is the extra person they needed. I mean, they still have Broken Blade here. He was waiting for more action, but it's actually going to take him a while now to get back to the top wave as Anivia is pushing in. Zeus is going to get there, so he's going to have to use his teleport. I wonder if that top wave is a cannon wave, how much Zeus is going to get up there, but we'll see afterwards. They get the flash, and then Kanavi's like, all right, well, if it's 2v2, we can handle this because Delight is on the way, but SkewMond was also coming over, and SkewMond with the flash gets inside there for the kick as well.
Top lane, Broken Blade, moving up. Zeus had pushed the wave all the way in. Risky call from Zeus. Last breath to come through, but Kanavi already on the way. Oh, the wall to push it back! Zeus is just too damn clean. Broken Blade gonna try to dash his way through, but the ulti is there! Turn to ice, it's just domination in the top lane, 1v1.
Yes, sir. Zeus, as we said, one of the super early adopters years ago with the Anivia top, and very comfortable there, kiting and buying time for Kanavi to join again. They do get the kill onto Broken Blade, who just teleported top Draco, so it's even worse than a regular gank. No teleport for him to get back out afterwards, and they are going to take their consolation prize because you saw Kanavi top side, so immediately go for the bot side counter of the Dragon, but
it's taking so long that Kanavi is here.
Yeah.
Guma walking up, that's the polymorph. Piercing light onto Labrov.
Thanks for the leash.
The consolation prize looks like it might be going to HLE, and they seem pretty well consoled already, Kobe. They keep all of the prizes are theirs. It's Console like G2, what are they getting back, Kobe?
Your friend just, won a hand in poker, and you're like, I'm gonna come console you. Really, really tough time you've been having over here, making money.
Being wildly far ahead, as it were. 2K advantage for HLE, and this is so frustrating for G2. Broken Blade continuing to go all in on Zeus. He doesn't really have another option. Caps now coming up, gets on the other side of the wall. Last breath there, but unfortunately not on the other side of the wall where he needs to be. Reset into the egg. G2 should grab this kill, but Zeka now moving in. No way the Anivia manages to live. Broken Blade dashing through, the shutdown going to Caps, fighting the bottom lane. Ulti onto Hans, some of the wild growth gives him an extra second. Guma overstepping! Shutdown from SkewMond, extra healing now coming in. That's the Sundered Sky. Delight, the turn back, wants to get it onto SkewMond. Kanavi, polymorph, down he goes! G2, an excellent fight in the bottom lane.
Hans is kind of moving here. I mean, even though he got shut down so much early on, pushed off of waves, Labrov gonna check here to interrupt the recall from Delight. But even with all of the early hindrance that Hanwha had to face, able to get some back there, get a kill, and make his Kraken Slayer at the very least.
And an overstep from Guma, it feels like essentially underestimating. And that's big, gets something, also is gonna be empowered by the Lulu. You can see the Ardent Sensor there for that additional. Echoes of Helia, also a very good item coming in for Delight, but in the extended fights, Labrov really amping up that 80 carry damage output is here, HLE.
Yeah. So they start out, they use so much on Labrov, who flashes over, that SkewMond gets a good angle. Nice kick from Delight. He did interrupt the early arrival of SkewMond, but they still pull it out here. Labrov uses the ult onto Hanwha. They're able to dash forward during the Cataclysm. SkewMond still can't get out, so he goes down. but they do get an extra one there, and Han's getting money is critical to catch back up into this game so they can have some threat behind their Yunara Lulu for later.
And that was incredibly close. It looks like Hans's dash just barely took him out of the Cataclysm damage, allowing him to find that kill. Is now the 2v2. No longer in bot lane, instead in mid. SkewMond nearby. Kanavi not too far off either, and in the respective solo lanes. Broken Blade recalling. We'll see when he goes for on the early items. Wit's End often the go-to against magic damage, especially when you're forced to, or when you go Berserker's Greave. It's a nice early spike, but you know, not having Mercs is, it's always a tough discussion with Yasuo, just because of how good Berserkers are. It's often just worth giving up that tenacity, but does mean you're forced into sometimes not ideal items.
Be like the wind and dodge everything, man. Don't get hit.
It's a big circle, my guy. The
also,
Glacial Storm, big circle.
Also, Labrov probably going to get a Mikhail's this game. We'll see. They got
Kanavi running in. SkewMond, the shielding enough. Keep relatively healthy. Control Ward denying a bit of the vision there. Flag and drag, flash out from Hansama. Polymorph now, kick back onto Kanavi. He's going to flash out as well. Guma marked up by the Sonic Wave. No resonating strike, and Zeka starting to come over the wall. Crucially, if Scott Abduct does not connect, but it might not matter. Wild Growth stolen away still by Kanavi as a double kill comes through for Guma. G2 were not ready for this fight. The knockup doesn't land on the cast with the red buff, just keeping him in range. Lower and lower goes Kanavi, the Dark Sphere to finish the kill. Solo laners of G2 in the 2v3, hoping to make the difference. Flash out from Broken Blade, though. Leaves his mid laner to die. There's no other choice. He cannot save him.
They give the double buffs and the kill to Zeka here on the Sylas. They can keep on pushing as well, both mid and bottom. Zeus doing work that entire time as Broken Blade used his teleport to go cut off that play and try and get Caps an avenue to escape, but even with that, unable to do so. Flash down from him as well.
Oh. Zeus just canceling recall after recall after recall, knowing that no one on G2 is in a good position to threaten him here, and now having his entire team back him up as he basically just solo kills Hans.
Ooh, that was brutal right there, Zeus. My goodness, keeps the pressure up on the tower, sits Hans down again, and Guma says, I'll take over from here.
And it's just so hard when you're G2. You lost the Ambessa, the meta stuff. Now you're losing to the more niche stuff. In game 2, the top lane matchup just seems like a puzzle that G2 have not had an answer for yet, and the problem that was once Broken Blade is very quickly turning into everybody's problem. As G2, the gold lead still okay, as now we see Last Breath in the bottom lane. Zeka going for the 1v1 of Skond Abduct will give him access for the Last Breath, but Zeus is here once again to save the day, and just, what the heck? Just one taps.
Electrocuted.
He's still going. Anivia is a mobile champion in this man's hands. Labrov also forced to flash out.
Zeus is kind of good. League of Legends.
Yeah,
brother.
This guy deserves to win Worlds, I think, maybe. Some would say.
I like too. You know, he's calling down the lightning, even when he's playing the Frost character. He's got the electrocute. They're able to get that synergy as they drive this Herald right on in.
Man's got every element ready to go. Kanavi. Zeka. Okay, the 1v1 versus Caps. And that, I think, is at least one of the straws currently breaking this particular camel's back. Caps, the sole member of the team with that individual gold lead, but now it's 4-0-4 scoreline for Zeka. The avenues of attack, the angles of opportunity for G2 just disappearing.
Just so you know, they buffed Sylas on this patch.
Yep, extra healing. And there it is, there's some of that extra healing.
Yeah, this is nice. He's able to run Caps all the way down. No escaping after the arrival. Let's take a look. Okay, so HLE back on track with the Dragons, but really it's all about the kills and the gold lead. I mean, they've taken so many towers. It's really easy to get consecutive picks here against G2. Syndra does not belong in side lanes. You are a low mobility, fragile mage. You are gonna have a very big issue, as we just saw, you know, trying to survive up there. And Zeka's going to go straight back. Look at the mini-map, though. You know, G2 now are kind of hovering that side. Every time you're trying to pick up a side lane wave, okay, we'll hover this Syndra. But HLE can do that, too.
And that Coinbase gold grind just showing us that despite a 40 CS discrepancy, kills can more than make up for the differences. Labrov has simply stepped too far forward. Didn't really burn much of anything to make that happen. Caps now in no man's land, a decent scatter as SkewMond manages to kick Gumayusi out of the equation, but now Caps is in enemy territory and may once again just be sacrificed. Kanavi puts him in the Thunderdome. The extra healing, and Caps just doesn't do enough damage to finish the kill. Breath of life there, and a culling to close as once again kills just being donated to Guma.
Nice from Delight there. Keeps Kanavi up while they finish up their business in the top lane. And honestly, HLE don't look like they're dropping a game anytime soon at this tournament with how they're playing. Broken Blade in a brush though. What can they do?
Guma. Q auto, another Q, dash through. If he gets the knock up, he can probably finish the kill. Flash away from Guma, given that respect. But Zeka's just solo killing Labrov. And now Broken Blade is dead. Oh gosh, yep, last breath, aptly named. That's the last breath he's gonna get. It's HLE obliterating G2. There's not a lot else to say. It's 16-5, it's a 7,000 gold lead. We're 20 minutes in. SkewMond try to get one back, no! Zeus, just give him a crumb, please! Have mercy! Oh no, Caps is next. Oh no, Kobe!
I'm sorry, bro. Hey, he already got a pentakill on the champ. This is going slightly less good this time around. With
Yeah,
the
and look, I'm
ever
not
so slightly.
I'm not here to start hitting with the cope. The cope at this point is you go game 3, you believe in G2 to go back to the drawing board. Maybe try a different approach.
Hey, we've got a replay for you to relive that.
Yeah,
buddy.
thank you.
Zeka here on Sylas. It just feels so good to see him back on this champ. Takes down Labrov there. He was able to hit both chains for the first round and then the second round too. Labrov not able to dodge anything there, and you saw the whole thing the first time around?
They're so good.
Yeah.
And I knew it when I watched the LCK VODs, but it feels different when they're playing against your representative, I will say. It hits a lot harder as Zeka just doesn't stop.
Hits hard.
Oh, he takes the Yasuo and he's doing better with it. Broken Blade's dead. Labrov running. SkewMond also has to get the hell out of there. Zeka turns back! He's got a weak. They are desperate to finish off Zeka. They have so many members. Surely they can kill this mid laner, but Guma's off to the side. They're being herded, knocked back into their own jungle as HLE just make a montage on the first seed of the LEC. Zeus didn't even arrive yet. Finally, the bird is here, but it's another double kill to Zeka.
HLE looking to get some revenge for Gen G and BFX at first stand. And they're going to get it, Dracos. They are getting it all right.
That's 20 pages in Zeka's book, and yeah. This one feeling like a short story, Kobe.
LCK took that first stand personally.
That they did. I don't know. Personally, I liked it more when BFX and Gen G were no. HLE, terrifying. SkewMond preying on a 50-50. He's dead. Might get a kill, but he cannot steal this because they have the discipline to back away, and there's Zeka once more. Now legendary, insane dominance coming out for HLE. G2, this is their final stand. 1.7K. The objective will fall. Hansama off to the side. 4v5. G2 continue to walk up. Scuttlecrab plopped on top of Zeka's head. Broken Blade charging the Q. Ease through. Manages to find the last breath. Polymorph onto Zeka. They're getting a bit of space here. Hansama still standing. Ult's looking to transcend. Zeka looking to stop it, and it's track. So the follow-up is there. Hits him with the Dragon's Rage. He's absconding. He's abducting. They finally kill the mid laner, but it looks like it's costing them the game.
Holy moly! They take down the 12-killed Sylas. That is going to be your biggest trophy of the game, Dracos, as HLE, they can do whatever they want.
That they can. 10,000 gold lead at 20 minutes is a incredible, incredible number. And you look back, G2 know that there are no good fights, so they got to do with what they can.
Oh my goodness. Zeka in form, and Akali and Sylas are both strong right now. Take a look at it. He kicks Hans into the pit, and then he's going to go for the flashover, land the change on the Cap. But Cap saw it coming, so he at least gets his Scatter the Week into ultimate.
Frustration on the face of Labrov. It hurts to go down like this, right? We're having fun with it because there's not a lot left to be said, but this is still
a
high-pressure series.
Hey, me and you were there. They pulled off a reverse sweep not too long ago. In fact,
and game 1 and game 2 versus Top were diabolical.
Yeah. Top has now exited the tournament already, but
what do we say about the transitive property, Kobe? Let's not go any deeper into that one. It's not over till it's over. I didn't hear no bell. They may have tried to ring it, it's unclear, but HLE are not letting them get close to that particular bell. But again, you have a game 3, you have a chance to bounce back. The mental fortitude going to be necessary from the side of G2 Esports. As SkewMond looking to follow up on Kanavi. Good chunk to kick things off. The wild growth stolen, and once again, just fantastic setup. Kanavi still living. Broken Blade knocked up. That's the EQ flash to ensure they have the lockup there. Breath of life. No one is dropping down. Caps' own base is no longer safe.
I mean, that was like art. That was beautiful engage.
That's fantastic.
Caps versus Egg. He's gonna lose before the timer pull.
He can't do it.
The Egg
can't
wins.
kill the Egg. The Egg won. Zeus is just
Zeus
TPing to a random
teleport
ward.
for the chase.
He knows. HLE even more dominant than game 1. Give no hope. Give no quarter. To the side of G2. They move on to match point. They're looking to clean sweep this series and remain undefeated at MSI.
All right, Analystas, tell us how G2 are going to pull off this reverse sweep.
Ain't enough. Give him the trophy. HLE is just too good. I don't know, Kobe. I don't know. Ox, do you want to gloat for a second?